Hello investors, welcome to Business Learnings. In this video, we'll be talking about Reliance Industries Limited. Last week it had its annual general meeting, and since then the stock has gone down by 5 to 10%. We'll try to understand whether it's a good investment for long term, whether you should sell off all your holdings or you should just wait and add more. We'll also discuss the kind of growth prospects. How is this business going to unfold in the coming few years? Right, so make sure that you watch the video throughout the end to get complete clarity, and do subscribe to the channel. So before I start, a quick disclaimer: my views and opinions are completely personal and in no ways associated with what the company thinks. I work at Reliance, and uh, that's why this disclaimer is important. Another important disclaimer is, please do not consider it as an investment advice. Please do your own research or consult your financial advisor before taking any investment decisions. So the key highlight of AGM was green energy. Right? Reliance announced that they'll be investing 75,000 crore rupees in the next 3 years across four gigafactories, and the infrastructure and building the value chain of those four gigafactories. Right? First one was making solar cells. Another was investing in battery technology to store the electricity generated by those cells, the solar cells, because the solar cells generate electricity during the day. Where do you store it? During the night, right? So battery technology, and then electrolyzer gigafactory and fuel gigafactory. These were the kinds of investments that were declared, and Reliance is towards the right pathway. The entire world is leaning towards producing more and more green energy, more and more clean energy. They are shifting away from the conventional methods of generating energy through fossil fuels, coal, and you know these kinds of things. So the target is 100 gigawatts by 2030. And to put this into perspective, Indian government's target is to produce about 450 gigawatts of green energy by 2030, which means that Reliance is targeting to acquire 22% of that market. While I do not believe that Indian government will be able to achieve that target, but I am confident that Reliance will be able to reach it. This gives direct competition to Adani stocks, Adani Green Energy primarily. Adani Green Energy is the direct competitor, and if you look at the stock price of Adani Green Energy, its PE is in three digits, probably 700 or 800. Its market capitalization is almost about 2 lakh crore rupees. And how much electricity is generating? Adani Green is generating just about. So Adani Green is generating just about uh, 10 gigawatts, and it is about to generate 10 gigawatts by 2022. Imagine, will it be able to scale itself by 10x in the next 7 or 8 years? It's a difficult job, probably possible, probably not, we don't know yet. But one thing is for sure, that Reliance is going to give a stiff competition to Adani Green. Now, where exactly is this 75,000 crore rupees going to come from? That's what has been worrying investors, probably because if there is a lot of capital investments, it's typically a good sign in the long term. But in the short terms, investors are worried about negative cash flows. The business is not going to make any money for the next coming few years, and that's where the stock price starts getting discounted. So Saudi Aramco deal. The chairman of Saudi Aramco was already onboarded during the AGM, and if the deal looks almost fine, almost on track. If the OTC business, Reliance was planning to sell 20% of its OTC business to Saudi Aramco, and that will come out to be approximately 75,000 crore rupees. So Reliance can simply use that money to invest in the green energy initiative. And that's just one part of it. Another part is OTC is the cash cow. The entire cash generated by OTC was put to buy Infotel, which had 4G networks across India back in 2009 or 10, right? This money, now Geo is cash flow positive. Geo does not need money from its parent company. It is sustainable on its own, right? So all the cash flows that will be generated by OTC could be used to fuel the green energy initiatives, right? So this was all about the green energy in the AGM. For Geo, the main talking point was Geophone Next, and again, Reliance is confident about acquiring 20 crore users in Geophone, which means that revenues, the top line would shoot up by 50%, even if the even if the tariff rates remain the same. If the tariffs are hiked, and tariffs will be hiked, because that's plan that's in the roadmap of all the telecom companies. Tariffs will be hiked by 10, 20, 30%. So we can easily see a 50, 60% kind of a bottom line growth in Reliance in the next few years, right? uh, and that too, when people start adopting 5G, it will add to another revenue stream for Reliance. Retail is another growth engine for Reliance, and it the management Reliance management showed that it would grow at least by 3x in the next 3 to 5 years. Even if we just take the next, it takes, let's say, 5 years to reach these 3x levels. Top line will still be 25%, and bottom line will be 30, 35, 40%. And this is the worst case scenario. The best case would be 50, 60% kind of a growth. And this in the context of in the context of a scenario where the two growth engines of Reliance Jio and Reliance Retail, they are already contributing 45% to the profits. OTC business, they earlier used to contribute 33%. They have increased their share to 45%, and uh, they are bound to increase their share exponentially, right? Now, coming to the major thing, why did the stock still fell down? I feel there was a set of reasons. A major reason is capital expenditure. As I already said, investors are now confident that for the next few years, in the capital expenditure part of the journey, there is not going to be any revenues or earnings, right? And that's where we'll have negative cash flows, and that's why it's reflecting in the stock prices. That's why the stock price has corrected a bit. Second is no listing plans for Geo or retail was described in the AGM, and people were expecting, because if they get listed, it will be a value unlock for Reliance shares also. What should you do as an investor? It is a great company for long term. Personally, I am invested, therefore my views might be biased, but I still see 20% plus kind of a growth. And if you are seeing such kind of a growth in a large cap stock where the risks are minimal, you should simply grab that opportunity, right? To just do a peer comparison, Adani Green has a 2 lakh crore of market capitalization, and uh, if we correctly discount it, Reliance is going to add more than that in the next few years to its market capitalization, just because of the green energy initiative as it unfolds, right? Another thing I believe in this company is because of the vision of the leader. Back in 2009 and 10, when Mukesh Ambani had that vision of 4G, when every other telecom player was concentrated on just 3G and how to increase tariff, how to loot uh, users. This guy was sure that 4G is the thing to invest in for the next decade, and that's where we are right now. We are in the data data access economy, right? So yeah, uh, for the next 10 years, clean energy, green energy is going to be the big thing, and that's where the investments are going to come in. For short-term investors, well, uh, right, you guys are the reason. Zerodha is the biggest, is the biggest bootstrapped, uh, probably one of the biggest bootstrapped startups, unicorns in India. Talking about the target price, I'll quickly cover it. Maximum open interest in the option chain is at about 2300. Uh, so I'll paste this link. If you see at 2300, we have the maximum open interest at about 2300 price, and also at about 2200 price. But the change in open interest is maximum at 1900 and 2000 levels, which signifies that the stock is going through a correction. We'll watch this for the next few days, and we'll have a better idea on what's going to unfold, which direction the stock takes. Coming to the next year target price, as per various brokerage reports from 33 different firms, the average target price is about 2210 rupees, which is still about 5% up from current price. 33 analysts 22 are recommending buy or a strong buy, and rest 11 are recommending sell or a hold position. So good for long term, good for probably short term, I don't know. Thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.